Good birthday.
Yeah, it was all right. Kind of boring. Nothing much happened.
Yeah,
That's what happens when you get middle age. You don't care about the birthdays anymore.
yeah, us too. Yeah.
Yeah. We were
Yeah.
going to go to a steakhouse on Friday that I like, and then we just got lazy and was like, do it tomorrow. Saturday came and I did a bunch of stuff, and when like got around 4:30 and was like, we'll do it tomorrow. So then Sunday, yesterday, we actually did say we're going to go. Got in the car, drove over there, and it was closed for the Super Bowl.
Oh,
So now we're talking about maybe going Wednesday. So who knows?
keep writing those rain checks, man.
I know. I know. I'm drowning.
uh, anyways, um, yeah, I've been really liking the group a lot, and the Zoom meetings we have are awesome. And I know I don't participate as much as probably you'd like, but it's like a lot of these people are talking about things that are, just they're kind of past where I can really talk skillfully about it all. I mean, it's just not my experience at
Yeah.
this point. Though when I listen to them, I still get a lot out of them,
Oh yeah.
a lot out of that. So, um,
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
really, I'm just so focused on listening that I'm not really trying to come up with anything to say. And
Oh, that's fine. Just let it be natural. If you're taking it in, at some point something will come up that you want to say or whatever.
yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, no, it's been great. Anyways, I wanted to talk to you about my meditation practice some and
Okay.
maybe other things as well. But so the last time we talked, you know, you'd recommended I do the bird on the wire thing and kind of switch over to that. And that's been, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks now, I guess. 3 weeks, I think, something like that. And so, yeah, I've been trying to do that, and I really kind of struggled with it and some, but I'm starting to get the hang of it here the last week or so. Uh,
You see my YouTube video about it?
yeah,
Okay. Because I
yeah,
was like, I made that video that was more concise than what I put in the group, talking about it. So
yeah, and I watch it every now and then just to kind of see if I can get something more out of it and squeeze something more out of it. And but the way it's going for me now, I used to always be about all in the body and kind of staying down in there and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
bird on the wire. I just feel like I'm right up here, and
Oh,
and that's fine. It's just so it's like I bring my attention to awareness, and I don't know what that is. So I just kind of look at that as where everything appears at, so sensations, thoughts, um, what I feel in the body, even though that kind of centers up here too now, when I really can kind of sink into it. And so I just try to sit there and let whatever comes try to come through and just kind of move through. It just really feels like it just moves through. And I
yeah.
get to a place that's pretty still, and the thoughts will still take me away from time to time, but I don't worry too much about it.
That's okay. Like you find the balance, and then when you're balanced, a thought or something might knock you like you're on the wire might knock you a little bit. And so you don't fight the thought. You let it bump into you and you just rebalance,
Right,
And then the thoughts come and if you're still enough, the thoughts will feel like they just go right through you. They won't knock you anywhere. It just feels like, oh, there's no resistance to them and they're just coming. You're going right into them and they're flowing right through you or by you or appearing and disappearing in what you are, whatever that is. You can get real steady with that once you see them that way, where
right,
you're just so balanced, and that's like shikantaza. Then you're not grabbing, you're not trying to do anything with your experience whatsoever. You're just letting every thought, emotion, energy, whatever, be what it is. You don't have to even put your attention in one place or another.
right. Yeah. And it almost feels like the attention kind of falls away when I kind of get into that place and things just keep moving through. I mean, I'm not trying to make my attention be there. It just feels like it's there.
Yeah, good.
So I guess I'm in the right, I guess I'm on the right track with that in relative terms. It sounds like,
Yeah.
right? Um,
There's even a falling back. There's a falling back to the point of stillness of where attention doesn't even feel like it's you. It's a function and it's going wherever it goes. But there's a part of you that's watching that's even closer than that or further than that, where the attention doesn't feel like Mark putting his attention on something. It feels not separate, but just allowed to do its thing, do whatever it wants to do. And what's watching is not touching it, even if it goes to a sensation or a thought. It's like you're kind of then you're just watching the algorithm do its thing from this
oh,
place of nothingness.
okay. Huh.
Yeah.
All right. So, I have a pretty long meditation. I was trying to do the whole meditation like that, and it would really get hard after a while, particularly towards the end. And oh man. So, but what I've started doing here in the last week or so is I would do that in combination with do my stuff in the body, and I always kind of start out with a reverence thing, and that's just, all the body stuff. Uh, and I would just kind of let that ride I mean, that's only for about 5 minutes. Then I just kind of sit in the body the way I used to. And then at some point I would go back up to bird on the wire, for 20 minutes or so, just kind of however it happens, but
Yeah.
I do it all. Um, but I was telling you how I would have that what you called it, unbound consciousness, where I would get into that place that was just so neutral and still. And it just feels like it's in a vacuum, right? There's just nothing else there but a vacuum. This I don't know what to call it, but um, and so that's happening even more and more. In fact, my body tends to kind of get involved a little bit, right? So it looks like if you'd walk in, you'd think I'm having a seizure almost. I mean,
Oh,
like
really? Your body moves that much?
it does, and
Interesting.
I don't try to get engaged in it at all. I just try to stay in that balanced place, right?
Hmm.
Just stay there and just let it be. And sometimes it's just a little bit of rocking, and then boom, I'll just drop right into that vacuum, right?
Hmm.
And so I'm just going, okay, I know that my mind's not there, but it's like, so it wants to start pinging questions. It's like, okay, what is this? And it's like, well, it all shuts down. And then, anyways, the next time I'm going, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to, not to even try to inquire into it, just kind of let it be, just kind of what it is, and not even ask anything of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I read one time, not too long ago, Adyashanti was saying only stillness can meet stillness, right? So that's what I try to put up against this, right? And that seems to be helping some. I mean, I can stay up next to it for 20, 30 seconds until, the thoughts just break it down and I fall out of it again. But the good thing is it's happening sometimes 3, 4 times in a sitting.
Hmm.
And used to be, it would just be once a week or something like that where I could actually fall into it. So, um,
You're ungrasping slowly. But like you said, when you got to that point, you said you got to that point and then you dropped in you with the body stuff, but then it swayed or whatever, and then you dropped into the vacuum and you were there, and then the thoughts started pinging right there. Right there is a very important part where if you're in the unbound consciousness, you're feeling in a vacuum, and the thoughts will try to grab you. You just have to know they're going to try to grab you, and
yeah,
you just have to not fight them whatsoever, not grab, not follow, not judge. It is a completely hands-off experience from that point on. If you like, I mean, I've heard Angelo say something like, angels can do no more. That's what he says to people when they're in that place. It's like the mind wants, very subtly, it wants to make something happen. whether it's make you get up, make you think, grab a thought, go into a visualization, go into a loop about dinner, or anything like that. And that balanced alertness, you just have to maintain it without any expectation of anything happening. So it's like a settling and a hands off. When you get to that point, you know right there, there's nothing to do at all. Like nothing. Nothing the human, nothing Mark can do here. You're entering a void or a realm that you have no power. It's like you're just like, and thoughts, and that mind will say, this is boring, or this is taking too long, or am I doing this right? Anything that comes up right there, you just have to let you can look at the thoughts and just see how empty they are. Just notice how they come and go before you're barely even able to think about them and let them
Mm.
slide off like oil. They're just like oil. They're just like there's just nothing to grab onto.
Right, right.
And then you sit there and maybe it'll get real quiet again, or
Yeah.
or maybe the thoughts will come up again, but or maybe energy will start coming up. Anything just has to be 100% allowed at that moment, and then there's just nothing you can do. And if the kid you are in the exact perfect conditions for where you need to be, and you can't change, you can't do anything to make the conditions better. It just has to be completely given. It's completely given over to this, and it will decide what to do. There's no taking anymore. You're just all giving, and then it will do what it does. At some point, if you stay there long enough and you drop all need for something to happen, dropping all expectation, wondering what could happen next, what it'll be like. That very small energetic mind movement is what's keeping that going. It's very delicate. And you want to
Yeah.
touch it and you want to do something about it. And you want to be
Yeah.
like, oh man, I'm right there. I could, what will happen next? That's a thought. It's just like you can get real, you have to massage yourself right there to just not doing anything, not touching it. And it's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
It's like the most beautiful woman in the world. You're like, I want to touch it. You can't, but you can't. You cannot touch it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's when you say delicate, it's like that's just how it feels. It's like,
It
oh,
is very delicate.
I gotta
Yeah.
be so I don't want to be too cautious. I just want to just be still, just be as still as that is. That's how I'm trying to feel. It's
It's
like, okay,
really, when you get to that point, it's literally all about expectation. It's like you have an expectation. Your mind has an expectation of, ooh, something could happen.
yeah,
What could happen?
yeah,
Damn, I'm bored. Nothing's happening. It will
oh,
say whatever. It will say whatever. It's just there's just in the mind, like you're asking me, like it's just there's nothing that can be done there but let go. Any grasping, a shred of grasping is keeping the mind movement going. You just have to, you just feel into it so delicately at being hands off. And that's when, you know, it could either like it could be different places call it different traditions. It could be a cessation where you blink out of existence and it reboots. Or that's what happened to me and it was real explosive. But some people, it's like you just sit there and then there could be a subtle shift where you just notice a direct noticing that, oh, I am this consciousness. I'm not this little thought. And that's an awakening. It's also awakening. And it may not be explosive, but it will be a little shift, like an energetic changing of the guard, where it's like,
mm,
whoa. And even in the moment when it happens, you may notice something small, but then later, as you go about your week or whatever, you may notice a big difference. You'll
mhm,
you'll notice a difference of where you're operating from. It
right,
can be as explosive as a volcano, world shattering event, or it can be as delicate and subtle as being underwater and the current feeling warmer where it was colder, like you feel when you move in a lake and it's like, it can, but you will notice that shift. It won't be like, did that happen? It'll be a noticeable shift, but it may not be a gigantic explosion. It may be something very small,
sure,
but the shift is the shift. But
yeah,
man, any amount of grasping there, it's just
yeah.
like you just can't touch it.
I try to keep my expectations to a minimum, and just when I go in and I just go, I'm just, when I sit down, it's just to see what will happen, just what's going to happen today. I don't go, okay, I'm gonna, I may make small changes in how I approach just because of
Yeah.
the previous thing. And it's like, well, there's some thought happening there, but I can't really quite catch it at the time. But I think about it later. It's like, okay, well, I'm just maybe we'll adjust it just a little bit, just my perspective on what I'm doing while I'm there. And so yeah, boredom is never a thing for me. I don't catch it as call it boredom. If it's there, I don't recognize it like that.
It may get to that point though. If you
Yeah,
get real still, there may be a thought that then tries to grab you. That's
yeah,
how that. Have you ever seen that video where that woman that woke up from this place and boredom was what was blocking her?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. That British woman or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
I love that
That
one.
one thought about what do I do now was
Yeah,
blocking her. And when she saw that clearly and dropped it,
yeah.
Angelo told her that on the retreat. She saw that real clearly and dropped that thought. Boom. So it was like she had an awakening.
He's amazing like that, isn't he? Golly.
Yeah.
So is that kind of your experience? Do you just kind of feel into it the way he talks about it? It's just you feel it. Is what he says. It's just become part of his
Well,
instinct, or is
well,
it?
for me, it doesn't operate. It doesn't operate that way anymore because I'm not looking from that lens anymore of like Mark lens or Tony lens. That's gone for me. So when I sit down, I'm in unbound consciousness immediately, like right off the bat. And that's sort of, I mean, it's just a word, it's just a word. You could
Yeah,
call it anything, presence or whatever, but it's like that's what it is for me all the time, whether I'm meditating or not. That's why I call it resting as reality, because I'm not Tony trying to sit down and meditate anymore. I just have to be meditating. I have to be reality talking to Mark right now. And then you may get off of here and I may sit here for 5 minutes and not do anything, close my eyes. And then I'm just reality closing his eyes or reality resting. So if I sit down for a longer meditation and I'm deciding to sit, I'm just reality resting for a longer period of time and letting it's just unbinding thoughts, the emotions. Thoughts used to feel like they were in a cage, and now I feel like they're like my kids running around in the yard, and I'm on a farm, and just they got a wide berth, and I don't have to watch them at all. You know what I mean? It's
right.
like that feeling. They just don't have like they don't have it. They don't have the pull in that way anymore.
Right. Yeah. And I could see how that would me having the expectation of something happening and all that. It's just gonna get in my way.
It's very
Uh,
subtle. It is very subtle,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's what's required. That's why that attention, that awareness is required to catch the subtlety of the grasping and then letting it go.
Right. So yeah, when I get to that place, it's like a thought will come and it's like, but I still feel like I'm having to push it away a little bit, having to fight with it a little bit to stay there.
The thought,
Yeah. So, it won't even be a formed thought. It'll just be, hey, I'm a thinker's here, it just kind of bumps right in there and it's like, no, no, no. And I can fight it off, but when I'm fighting it, it's like, well, that's thought.
oh, don't fight it. Don't fight
No,
it at all.
I
Let
don't.
it be there. It's just a part of the experience as well. But what you are is something that's not that thing that's staying there. There's something even deeper there that's closer than thought.
So this is
That's watching that happen.
so this is where I think I guess maybe I'm confused too. So when I try to do the bird on the wire, I'm not in that vacuum, right? So thoughts come and they just go, and I'm not fighting them. They're just going by, and they do catch me some, but mostly they're just going by. But when I do the thing where it comes up from my body and it comes into this vacuum, it just feels like it's right here, right in here. That's different. I mean, am I still? I'm just trying to be as still as that stillness. Am I still letting thoughts just kind of pass on through without doing anything to them, or because, like I was saying, when that happens, when I drop in that vacuum, there is no thought. There's
Hmm.
nothing. So I'm thinking,
Mentally in the mentation of it when you're sitting there, all trying will cease for anything in any direction for anything at all. To let a thought stay, to make a thought go, to just the trying drops. Like you literally, it almost feels like you just become a non-person, no volition, just dropping, and whatever comes comes. There's no leash on the thought. There's no leash on anything. It's just completely free to come and go as it pleases and do whatever. And the thing that's sitting there watching, you could almost say the thing that's sitting there watching isn't even in the experience. It's not, right?
right.
Mark is the thought, the sense of self that you think is there, the belief, the identification. There's something watching that's not even in the experience. There's a cool video I'm going to send you that'll help you like look at what I'm talking about. I'll put it in the group. It'll be called the bubble experiment.
Okay.
I'll find it. I have it saved somewhere, and I'll find it and I'll put it in the group. And you can look at that. Look at the. It's an Australian guy, and look at the way. Listen to the way he talks about it. Where you're outside. It's like a bubble, and you're outside of the bubble looking in. Not Mark. The thing that contains it is not. It's not an object in experience. Anything that can be seen as an object in experience when you're doing the meditation is allowed to be completely what it is with no grasping, no control. That's what shikantaza is for. That's what the power of that is very powerful meditation. At first, when it's like, oh, just do nothing, it feels very bland. It feels like not a big deal. But when you really get to that place of doing nothing, you realize how powerful it is to not grasp at anything. And so my bird on the wire meditation that I came up with that I did myself, that's how I did this myself because the shikantaza is hard to completely let go. So I started doing this bird on a wire thing myself. That my mind created that as a way to let go. And so that's why I made it bird on a wire. And it's like a balancing. It's like an initial balancing that I did with my mind with alertness to get me to the point where I could ungrasp enough to let the shikantaza take over. And then when it does, it's extremely powerful when you really get to the point of
Mm.
doing nothing, where you truly and honestly don't need to touch your experience at all. It can be whatever it is. Very powerful meditation when it gets to that place. And you've experienced that part of it. That beginning there when you're there and the thoughts are, you're not touching them and there's still some subtle grasping or you would have the awakening. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
but the shift, the subtle grasping when it drops off, it can be so subtle. That last little grip of trying to control is so subtle. And the letting go of it can be just like a breath, like it could be literally just a dropping. I can't explain it any delicately than that, but that's what it's like. It's like the last grasp before you die. It's just like you just don't have any left and you let go. And it's a very thin veil.
So these are two different experiences that I'm having when I'm doing bird on the wire versus when I'm in, I just call it the vacuum because I don't know what else to call it. But
Yeah.
so, I mean, oh, so, I mean, do you recommend I kind of keep still working with both of them the way I'm doing? And because I guess I thought I was going to drop into this vacuum thing by doing bird on the wire. I thought that was going to kind of get me to that same kind of a place.
Mhm.
And it doesn't seem, it's not the same. It's not the same.
What does the vacuum feel like to you as opposed to unbound consciousness? What's the difference?
It's close in a, it's close in a, well, the bird on the wire experience and the vacuum thing are, they're close in a way, in that my attention is fully on it, but I think my attention is just more fully on when I'm doing the vacuum thing. And well, there's no thought.
How do you get to how do you get to the vacuum part?
How do I get there?
You said you don't do bird on a wire when you do the vacuum thing, right?
Right.
So how do you do the vacuum?
Well, that's when my body typically tends to get involved. And and actually I think it has happened too when I'm doing bird on the wire and thoughts are just struggling to push through or whatever. And there'll be a shift in my body. And a lot of times it'll be down in my sacrum. It could be anywhere. It might start in my head. I hate talking about my body stuff because it just sounds so woo woo or weird. But anyways, that I'll just go. I'm staying with this, and then I'll go into the body and just kind of let that happen. So I guess I am doing bird on the wire. So
I have the body stuff too. It's not woo woo. It's not
well,
woo woo at all. It's not new agey. It's normal, just energetics. It's when I sit, if I get real still sometimes, I'll do this like with no control. I'll do this real fast too. Like I'll get going like this, and I'm not controlling it whatsoever. My
yeah,
body's just doing
yeah,
that. It'll do
okay.
it sometimes. And I don't know
So
why the hell it does it, but it does it.
yeah, I mean, my whole back will just kind of start whipping, and a lot of times we'll just be jolting so hard up here, it'll be hurting in my back and my neck, and then everything, it'll just settle down, and all of a sudden it'll just kind of slow down and stop. And when it stops, man, everything stops.
That's the vacuum then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when it all stops. And I mean, I'm just so perfectly relaxed and just straight up and just, you know, and so
That
the
vacuum,
thoughts,
that
what else?
vacuum almost sounds like it almost sounds like a jhana, the way you're talking about it. It almost sounds like second or third jhana.
Yeah, see, I don't know what that stuff is, but
Yeah. It sounds that way. It's a mental absorption that's like um a lot. See, the Buddha would teach the jhanas to be for concentration, and it would be mental absorption, and then you would kind of come out of the jhana and then do insight work, like you would inquire or you would just sit and note or unravel or whatever the practice is of the tradition that they belong to. Um,
well, yeah,
but you don't worry about that. Just get to it the way you get to it with your
yeah,
with that energy.
yeah.
If you don't have to do the bird on the wire, just do the energetics to get you to the vacuum. The vacuum is unbound consciousness as well.
So that is that where I'm trying to get with Bird on the Wire?
It's either one. I mean, it's I don't know exactly what your vacuum is, but you said when the energy it's like you have an energetic experience, and when it settles down, that allows you to release enough to be in the vacuum, you call it. It's all about control. If you're in the vacuum and you're not trying to control your experience, and that's good. That's where you should be.
Right.
The electric part with your body into your vacuum, that might be your way. When I did mine, and I was trying to figure out how to do shikantaza, the bird on the wire part of it. I mean, for the longest time, I didn't call it bird on a wire. You know what I mean? It was cat at a mouse hole. I called it that for a while, but then I realized the cat at a mouse hole has expectation. It wants the mouse to come out. But a
Right.
bird on a wire just is there because he loves life and he's not moving and he's just enjoying it and he's sinking in. And so that's why I changed it. But it was just the way that my mind came up with a way to release itself. So I made a video, I tell it to other people. But if you're getting there with an energetics and you can drop in that vacuum and you do it often, then that's a way you have developed to get there. Either way, whether a vacuum or unbound consciousness, when you get to the point of not controlling, it doesn't matter. It's still the delicate, non-grasping, let it all go you have to do, no matter how you get there.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think working with I think doing Bird on the Wire thing. I mean, this has happened before I started doing Bird on the Wire, but
Mm-hmm.
it's happening more now than it was before. So you know,
Well, bird on a wire may be steadying your mind in a way
eh,
that the energetic experience wasn't. So maybe you do one day and you do one the next, and you
mm,
keep switching off and see what experiences you have. And they may be complementary. I mean, they may be helping each other. It may be
mm,
making the energetics and the vacuum happen more on the days that you do that.
mm.
So maybe you switch one and do the next, and just make it a practice to do one day and one the next day.
Okay,
But
okay,
like I said, either way, it's all about letting go. It's all about non-grasping, not controlling, not judging. It's very delicate. It's very
yeah,
delicate.
yeah, man. I'm still trying to me, just kind of know what that feels like, you know, to say, okay, how do you do that? You just go, okay, you can't say, okay, I'm not going to do anything because you're just sitting there saying what you're going to not do,
Well,
right?
see, if it says this is part of the recognition. If it says, all right, I'm not going to do anything, that's a mind movement.
Right,
That's still thought saying, okay, I'm not going to do anything. It's still being in control because it's still saying I'm not going to do anything. So there's a part of you that's not that though.
right,
That's the part you need to stay in. See, for me, Bird on a Wire, the wire takes me all straight into unbound consciousness and beyond. Because once I get steady on that wire and I find that balanced alertness and that balance, if I'm really balanced and I've settled in just like the bird, I've wiggled and I've gotten where I need to be, and I sink and I'm there and I'm very balanced. If a thought comes, it's not knocking me off. And if it does wobble me slightly, I just, oh, I don't get mad. I just readjust.
right,
And you get there and you get to the point where you're just not getting knocked off that wire and you just take that all the I mean, you just take it all the way. There's nothing to do. You're on the wire and you sink and you balance, and mentally there's nothing to do. You're balanced. What else is there to do but hold the balance? It's like if someone has a gun to your head and they go, if you try to do anything, I'm going to shoot you in the head. You know what I mean? You're balanced. If you try to do anything else, I'm going to shoot you in the head. So you're like, oh, but if you start thinking about getting shot in the head with a thought, you're going to get unbalanced. You're going to get shot in the head. If you don't think about anything, you just, then you're not going to get off that. You're not going to get off balance.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, don't flinch. Don't even flinch, man. And that's how it is when I get to that vacuum space. It's like, okay, just don't flinch. Don't, you know,
This is such a great discussion about it. I wouldn't mind if you let me clip it and put it on my channel because it's like such a good description we're both talking about
yeah,
with this, you know?
yeah. If you think it's useful or helpful.
I think it is.
Um, so also, I've been trying to do this while I walk. Actually, I don't know if you could still call it bird on the wire while you're walking, but I throw you can see my backpack. I throw about 25, 30 pounds on. I live next to a mesa at the bottom of a mesa. I go and I walk up. So it's pretty vigorous walk, but um, so I just try to go, well, at this telephone pole to the next one, I'm just gonna, put my attention in that place where thoughts, feelings, sensations just kind of slide through from here to there. And sometimes I don't make it very far.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get a couple of fence posts, but no, I've gotten where I can go all the way to the next one, and I still have to kind of I'm having to fight off the thoughts a little bit because it's just harder when you're walking, when you're moving. There's all the stimulus, and uh, and all that.
When I would doing walking meditation, I would make it more about sensations than I would any kind of staying balanced with thought because um, after non-dual realization, the non-grasping is there all the time. So when you go out for a walk, you're automatically in the sensations because you're just not, you're not you're not having any resistance with your mind and thoughts about whatever. They're just there, free flowing. So every sensation is there automatically, and it's extremely enjoyable.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
when you're doing a walking meditation, I would focus on something like, can I walk from here to there without a story?
right,
Like a question you'd ask yourself. Or can I walk from here to that fence post just trying to focus on the sensations in my feet
right.
or the
Yeah,
sounds of the birds
yeah.
or taking all the sensations in at once? Can I widen my aperture as wide as possible and just take in every sound, taste, touch, feel, smell as I walk
Mhm,
and
mhm.
let the thoughts go maybe like take them all in but not hold on to any of them. Just
Right.
let them go while you walk and not chasing the story, not letting the story grab you though, making thoughts equalized with every other sensation, like they're orbiting this nothingness, you know,
Right.
and then take that walk and then do it in bits because the mind can get grabby, but you can do it in short. You can have like you can kind of power earnestness for shorter periods of time. If you go, I'm going to walk this whole hour without grabbing on the thoughts, eventually you're going to get lazy minded, and the thought's going to take you, to
Right.
another planet. But if you say, I'm going to walk from this here to that fence post, and I'm just going to focus on the sensations in my feet, then maybe you've got the mind to be like present and really like I'm going to do this. I can do this for 100 yards.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then you could be more relaxed and maybe switch to the sounds of the birds or whatever the prominent sound that may be repeating in the, you know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And when I do when I do the meditation, like I was saying, a lot of times it will switch over to well, just the breath coming in and out. What it feels like on my lips, it's like, oh my gosh, it just feels like I've never noticed it before, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
the feet, I do have some really thin shoes, and it's like, and I walk off the edge of the road. It's real gravelly and rough, and I feel it, and I love that, and
Mm.
so I can, and have been doing that uh, to some degree. Sounds I have trouble with. I have tinnitus really bad, so
Uh,
that really kind of cuts out a lot of sounds that I normally would be hearing.
have you ever focused on just that itself? That as a sound?
No, no,
Try that. Try to go into that as a sound itself and focus just on that sensation. May be hard to do while you're walking, but
yeah,
you
yeah,
might can do it. But if you can do it, like if you're sitting on a couch and you want to do that as a sensation practice for a while, you could focus on that and really go into the sound that it makes in your ear or your inner ear. What does that sound like? And then be like, is that a sound or is that a thought? Like you could kind of explore that and just be like, because it feels different than regular sounds, right? It feels like it's internal almost.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you can kind of explore that as a modulation and consciousness and like, what is that? Is it solid? Is there multiple sounds making up that one sound? Or is it one sound that just sounds like one sound? And go deep into that. You could do that as a sensation practice. Very, very fruitful.
Yeah, I'll have to try that. I mean, I've had it for like over 30 years, and it's like I just try to ignore it, just to set it aside, just so uh,
Yeah.
I try not to be distracted by it, not be
Yeah. So that's one perspective. So then for a while, you can use your mind to change the perspective. Say,
Mhm.
instead of ignoring it, I'm going to go all the way in it as deep as I possibly can and see what happens on the other side of that.
Right. Okay.
And
Yeah.
you could be very curious about it. You get some really interesting results.
Yeah. I'll look at that for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, when I first started meditating like 12 or 14 years ago, I did 8 months of just concentration practice and all I did was focus on the breath at the nose and that's it. And I got to be concentrated so much on the breath at the nose of the actual sensations that I started noticing that it wasn't one continuous breath. I mean, it wasn't one continuous sensation of breath, like one breath. It was smaller breaths, smaller modulations of it linked together, smaller sensations. Like you break apart those sensations into smaller sensations when you get really close to looking at it and concentration. And it's the same with sound waves, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. It's super interesting how deep and detailed you can go if you want with something like a sound, you know?
yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, I hear the way you guys talk about sound and the visual field and all that stuff when the what like how it happens for you and Angelo and
Yeah.
yeah, that's just
Angelo, I was talking to him one day, I don't know, a month ago, and I was leaving him a recording and the guys were right outside my door, my window, and I was sitting in a chair by that window and they were doing the leaf blower,
oh yeah.
weed eater. They were doing the yard. Maybe it was more than a month because they wouldn't be doing it a month ago. Maybe it was in like October, November or something. But they were doing it and normally like, you know, the weed eater sound can be annoying sound. But like I sent the recording and I was like, oh, the weed eater guys are coming. Let me finish. So I quickly did it. And I hit the button and sent it to him and I stopped. And it was like the weed eating sound was just going right through me. There's no me there. It's just the sound of the weed eater. And it's immensely enjoyable like that, you
Huh,
know?
huh,
A baby crying, which could be annoying on a plane, if you really go into it and don't take the mental formulation of, oh, it's a baby, it's gonna be crying, it's gonna da da da, and you really go into the sound of it, it can become a whole different experience
huh.
if you don't let the mind tell you what it is right off the bat and then just believe that.
Yeah,
Any sound can be like that.
yeah, yeah, maybe someday. I did have an experience where I took a nap. I fell asleep on my back patio last summer, or maybe the summer before. And it's really quiet out here where I'm at, but there's a road that goes back behind some trees and stuff. It's about 60 yards away. And you hear cars go by all the time. But I was coming out of this sleep with this car that was going by, and I didn't know what it was. I just knew there was just sound, and I heard every little piece of gravel that thing was rolling over. I mean, it was in such detail. It was just
Mhm.
everywhere. And it's like, I've never heard a car like that before, right? Uh,
Yeah, that's you dropped some of the mental formation of
Yeah,
what that is supposed to be.
because
And
I was coming out of sleep, I guess I was just,
right. You were not grasping, you were relaxed. Your
yeah,
mind had not woken up enough yet to grab on and tell you what that is and tell you that it's nothing. Oh, I've heard that a million times. I don't need to listen to that. You
yeah,
know?
I've
You know,
never,
when I had the non-dual realization as retreat, I remember leaving the meditation hall and I was walking back and I was stepping on sticks and gravel and it was so acute and so direct in my experience, I winced like it should hurt,
oh,
like it was painful because it was so direct, but it wasn't painful at all. But it was so like the stick breaking, like psh, when I stepped on it, it was so right here that it felt like it should be painful, but it was just like there was no, the filter was down. It was just like, you know, the filter of thought was down, and it was just, I mean, I can't tell you how immensely enjoyable it is just to walk like that and feel the wind blowing, the cold air blowing while you're walking to the cafeteria and the
mm,
stepping on the sticks and the rocks and the hearing the people whisper to each other when they're not supposed to be talking and like the birds and the, you know, whatever the sounds of a car driving by or some, you know, it's like to take that all in at the same time without thought having a big say so about it. It's immensely enjoyable and it's so ordinary, but it's insanely miraculous and interesting. And you don't need anything else, you know? It's like,
yeah,
I am this and I'm good.
wow,
That's what it feels like.
yeah,
But that non-grasping, that's what that is. The same thing we're talking about in meditation with burn on a wire or walking meditation. This whole thing kind of comes down to not grasping with thought. And that's what self is. Self is grasping constantly. I need to control this experience. I need to tell you what this is. This is a bird. It's called a dove. Okay, now I know what a dove is. I don't need to think about it anymore. That bird sound can be in the background of my experience from now on, and it's not important. But if you really stop listen to that bird, it will sound like a miracle, like a miraculous sound that you've never heard before. And it's
Hmm.
like the Peter Brown has some quote that's like amazing where he says, really struck me the first time I heard it. And it's like I'm paraphrasing. He says, "You stop telling the world what it is, and it opens up to you to something miraculous you've never seen before." I don't remember. It's a much better. It's much better than what I said. I'll find it and put it in the group too with the bubble thing. And I've already posted it in there before, but it's not very big and people might have missed it. But it's a fantastic quote.
Yeah, I may have seen it. I don't really think I missed much in there.
But see, the thing about this is that you said earlier about the sound. You said, "Oh, maybe someday." No, you heard it with the gravel. It
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
filter over your experience now. There doesn't need to be someday. It can be dropped now. It can be ungrasped now if you just are curious enough to stay with it and go into it as an experience. I mean, spend an entire hour on one sound. Why not? Why do you need to meditate and do all these other things and try to get to this place or that place? Just be curious as you can about one sound. I used to meditate with I had a fake, I had a sound machine, and on it had 50 different sounds. And I would practice with different sounds. And one was a campfire noise, and it was a crackling fire sound. And it would repeat, but it would repeat about every 30 seconds. So it was different enough that I kept thinking it was a new sound, and you could barely tell when it would start to repeat. And you go really deeply into that because it's a repeating sound. So the mind will relax when it's a repeating sound over and over again. Eventually it'll relax, or you'll go into your mind and start thinking about stuff because it gets
yeah.
boring. But if you can stay with it, it doesn't get boring. It gets more and more interesting as like, whoa. And that's really kind of what all of life becomes after some of this grasping is dropped. Everything is interesting. Every person is interesting. Every voice is interesting. Very boring things are very interesting. Yeah. The
Hmm.
whole practice is just to get you to, all the practices are just get you to stop grasping.
Right, yeah. Gosh, yeah.
But anytime you go into a meditation with an expectation or an inquiry with a major expectation, how could you ever stop grasping?
Yeah,
Because you're going in there with a lead in of, I want something out of this. The
yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing is giving. You're giving it away. You're giving your need to do something away. And you're
Right.
letting it say, you do something with me. You show me what I am.
Yeah, so most of the time when I'm doing inquiry now, it's usually like just before I even, while I'm having my coffee or whatever. I have to have coffee before I meditate or I'll
Yeah.
fall asleep.
Yeah.
Um, so that's what I try to do. And my phone's there. I said, don't pick up the phone. Don't pick up the phone. Take my watch off so it's not buzzing because there's a lot of telegram traffic about the time I'm getting ready to sit down and start meditating. And that's fine. I get used. I don't even barely hardly notice it anymore when it buzzes or whatever. But that's when I try to do my inquiry and just try to not set up an expectation for my meditation or anything like that, but just kind of be open to just being with my coffee, just kind of being there and sitting there and you know um, just feeling the sensations of the cup, and the smells and the taste, and just notice that it's passing. Everything that I'm doing is just passing. So to me, it's kind of a meditation, I guess, but um, it's just how I start, and then afterwards, um, I kind of do the same thing. That's where I'll do a little inquiry then, and I'll just try to look back at what I was just doing and and see what comes up. And And actually, if I'm honest, I probably plan on what I'm going to do next time in,
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
meditation. I'm sure
But that planning is not Mark planning. It's just thoughts.
yeah,
But
yeah,
there's something there watching that. that isn't Mark that can see that trying to claim the thoughts come up and then Mark comes in after as a claiming thought.
Yeah.
There's something before all of that that's there, taking that all in as it's happening that can be seen from. And that's a completely ungrasping place. It has no need to control. It's the origin of everything. It doesn't need to control anything. It's not afraid of anything. It doesn't need to make anything any different than it is because it's the origin of all of it. And it's okay with all of it. It accepts it, all of it. And that's what you are. Any needing to control or do something in the meditation is little Mark trying to make something happen the way he wants it to. And that's all you have to see. You just have to see that mechanism trying to do that. And when you see that clearly, that mechanism falls away. And what's left is the ungrasping reality of everything.
Yeah. I sometimes have this notion that that part of me is there and I recognize it to a degree, but I can't really think about it. It doesn't come through in thought, and
No, it's not. It's
it's,
not. It's not coming through in thought. It is what thought is made of, though.
huh,
Yeah, crazy stuff.
yeah,
Crazy awesome.
crazy cool.
Yeah. See, the roads, whether it's the energetic body vacuum or it's bird on a wire, it's every road. The road doesn't matter because it leads to the same place. It's just whatever works, to relax that mind enough for reality to step in and take over. I mean, it already is in control. You just believe it isn't, or you believe you are. Are you trying to be?
Right. Okay.
It's kind of all the practices are more like to see that, oh, I can't do this. And then when you get to that place, you're in a very good place for reality to show you that you never were.
Hmm.
But Mark will never sit down and do meditation and make something happen. It's never going to happen. The very act of trying to do that is the mind movement that does not allow that to happen. It is the very grasping.
You can see the truth of that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just see it real clearly and then you stop grasping. The mind says, I can't do this, and it relaxes. But you're not that mind. You're the thing that mind happens in. Mind is still a part of that, though. It's not separate.
Well, yeah, for me, it's not what you're talking about, I guess. But when I sit down to meditate or I'm going to meditate, it's like, oh, I don't have. I never look at it as something I have to do. It's just something that's just part of my routine. It's my life. It's just I never dread it. I may miss a day because something happens. I don't beat myself up about it. So to me,
No.
it's not
Your
a
reality, what are you beating yourself up for? You missed a day of something? You're there all the time.
yeah, yeah.
It doesn't matter.
But
There's no need to beat up. What are you beating up for? You're only beating up if you think you're controlling something.
right, yeah. So and that gets into a thing with the group, and I love hearing everybody's stuff. I'm completely compassionate. Once I now that I've said that, I just don't know if I have the full capacity for compassion that a lot of people have. And I don't
For
mean that.
compassion?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I know some people do, and it's like, am I just
No.
do I just not?
Everybody's different. I have different. My compassion is not the same as other people's compassion. There are people that are, some people are naturally way more compassionate and heart based, and some people are pretending they are because they think it's the thing to do, to
Right.
either manipulate or out of fear or whatever. You just be naturally compassionate. You know when I'm compassionate? When compassion arises.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And I don't. act compassionately. I
Yeah.
mean, basically.
So Eshwar sat down with Angelo a couple of months ago, and he says, "Oh man," he says, Eshwar's been in this game for a long time, he goes, he had this big heart opening shift and all that but what he did is goes, I'm just going to sit down and just say, show me this because I'm not that guy, you know. I don't feel it. Everybody's feeling it. I don't get it. But now he gets it, right? Because he
Yeah.
opened up to it and it's like, oh, it's all this love stuff and it's for real, right? And it's like, I think I'm just more like him at this stage.
Yeah.
I'm plenty compassionate with folks. I mean,
Yeah.
I just,
Well, I felt it too. I know what he's talking about because it came after my last realization as well. And it's more like for me, I mean to call it love is to do it an injustice. It's more like a overwhelming acceptance for me. It's like a pristine neutrality of acceptance of everything that happens. I mean, what's more loving than to be unconditionally accepting of everything that happens? That's loving. That's not what love relationships are like, right? So that small love is kind of like a distorted version of it. But when you taste what he's talking about, it's like, I mean, I haven't talked to him, but I assume it's something similar. But
Mhm.
it's an overwhelming acceptance of what is, and it's
Right.
very unconditional. That's unconditional love. But I don't even like the word love. I don't like calling it that.
Yeah, I
I
know.
just it's just like a pristine neutrality that holds everything.
Yeah,
And it feels insanely overwhelmingly amazing, but it's not special in the sense of being like something you grab. It's a full relaxing into it and it just runs the show or something like that.
right,
The words just don't, it just can't, it can't
right.
take it in. It has to be directly felt, you know.
So when it comes to sharing those kind of hard things in my life with a group, I just don't feel inclined. And not because I'm trying to be elusive or evasive or anything like that. It's like I have a lot of this stuff in my life too. I'm coming to find out maybe it's just not as bad. It's like I know it's stuff I have to deal with, but I'm kind of feeling like, is this the place where I want to do that? And maybe it'll come to the point. It's like, help, guys. Because that's the sense I get from
Well,
my
there's also probably a calming with you of like you're an older guy and you've seen a lot of shit and been through a lot of shit, and a lot of the people are younger and in their 30s and 20s and 40s. I mean, I'm 48, and you're 20 years older than me, right? I mean, so there's also a settling, like sort of like there's a bit of a drama to this where you can be like a settling of, you get older, you get more like, okay, I've been through several sicknesses. I've been through some car wrecks. It's like a kind of like, I don't have to be so dramatic. Teenagers are super dramatic because
yeah,
everything is the world ending. So
yeah,
on the other side of that, you've been through a lot of stuff, you know? It's like my grandfather was in World War II and he was a combat medic and he'd been through all kinds of stuff. And he was so calm towards the end of his life. He was just so like, he'd been through one of the worst wars ever in history, and he was just like, you know, even when he had emphysema and he was sick, and he was like, this is not a big deal. He was just like, but it's not to say that everyone's drama queens, but I'm saying there is a settling too with age that makes you probably feel that way.
right,
You are compassionate, but you don't have to be. It's just less. You're not performing for anyone.
right,
And when
right.
you feel naturally wanting to say something, then you'll say something.
Yeah, yeah,
You had said some stuff. And
right.
over time, as you get more used to it, maybe you'll want to, and maybe not. Maybe you'll take it in the way you do.
So there's been all this talk about people with this fear of dying and all that. Well, I'm at this age where it's like I could have a stroke any fucking day or whatever. I mean, I'm pretty healthy for my age and all that, but it's like I just know it's coming, and it's like I'm not
Right.
really. I used to worry about getting cancer and having this all terrible, painful, ugly death. It's like I don't even care about that anymore.
Yeah.
What I mean, it's just how
Well,
everybody.
I've heard older people when I used to do sleep studies, and I would have older people come in to get CPAPs, and I would do studies, and they would talk. I mean, it'd be like you lose a bunch of friends that you grew up with, and you lose, especially if you lose your partner or something, and you're just like it's not it's ungrasping. It's
Yeah,
ungrasping in a very slow death, life stripping your attachments away in a very visceral, real life way, and you're
yeah,
just like, you can't hurt me anymore. Just do it. Just take me. And there's a relaxation about that's a gift of old age if you make it to old age and that also can make people pretty damn happy because it's like I'm not attached.
yeah,
It's a natural way of waking up. And then,
yeah.
death is you wake up if you haven't woken up, everybody wakes up.
So if I say I have any kind of a fear about it, it'd be the fear of going crazy.
Yeah,
To,
yeah, yeah.
to me, that looks like a harsh way to go. People who,
You're
who,
not going to go crazy.
well,
The
and
fact
also,
that you're even aware of it, it's not going to happen. Yeah, that's just a thought. It's just a thought that you're having as a possibility. It's like a protection the mind throws up about this, like, oh, what if this happens? It's just a thought that you can literally see and then drop and just sink back in stillness again.
right. And
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm at on this path. It's like either I wake up or I die trying. And either way, I'm gonna pass on, so
Well,
uh,
either way, you're already awake. You're
yeah.
just having the experience with a certain lens on. And if you die first, the lens will get taken off then. And if you see it before then, you just drop the lens then. It really just becomes it's about not grasping and then just like seeing that either way, you're fine.
Yeah. I need to
So many people have woken up where they've got to the point where they don't care about waking up. They've gotten
yeah,
so satisfied and they've gotten so letting go of things and unattached that, you
yeah,
know,
but yeah.
a friend of mine, uh, the first guy that was my mentor, he knew a guy who worked in a hospital, and he said one time that this lady was dying and she sat up in the bed before she died. She sat up really fast and she said, I just died. And then the guy was like, you're fine, you're okay. And then, her equipment was normal, her blood pressure was normal, heart rate was normal. And she said, no, no, I just died. Like I'm not here. And he was like, he's kind of crazy. But what probably was happening was she probably woke up right before she died. She
Uh,
had like no attachments and then she died like 20 minutes later for real.
wow.
Her body died 20 minutes later. And it's like he was like we were talking about it and he was like, I bet so that happens to so many people that we never hear about it right before their body dies. That mental overlay just strips off and they see what they really are and then
Yeah, yeah.
slip off the body. I bet that happens a lot. We'll
I don't
never
want
know.
to wait, I don't want to wait that long, my friend.
Well, then stop grasping. Stop chasing it. just just
It's
sink
all,
into your experience as deep as possible with the sensations and the do that and recognize it's already here.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all on me, or however you awakened guys would say that.
It's not all on you.
This
It's not
guy,
on
I
you at
think.
all.
This guy, I think. Oh,
Yeah.
shoot.
I'll post that video in the group. I'll find it and I'll post that little quote in the group too that I really like.
Okay.
I think I will post this because it was a really good discussion about the meditations and stuff like that.
Yeah, or you just pick out the good parts if you want. I don't know, but your your call. We're
Yeah.
running over on time now, it looks like. So,
Yeah, that's cool. All right.
um, all right, man. Thanks so much for all you're doing for me and everybody else. We all love you and we appreciate you.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. I like doing it. It's
Yeah,
great. It's fun.
yeah,
I can really feel people in there changing, getting, letting go of some stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it's been such a cool thing for me to watch in almost real time. And I just don't say enough or do enough. I hope no people are thinking I'm lurking or something like that, but I'm really,
No,
really
no, no.
into the group, it's
Yeah,
just,
it's fine. People are busy too with work, and not everybody can
oh,
go in
yeah,
there and post. They just read at night when they can or on their breaks, and
yeah, yeah.
it's just there. It's just there, so people can read or post, participate, or just read. And if something catches your fancy, something says, you posted some, just respond or just
Yeah,
whatever you feel like doing.
sure. Okay.
Yeah. You be
Um,
at the Zoom this Sunday coming up?
Yeah, I don't see any reason to miss them from my perspective unless I have to make a trip somewhere or something like that. So yeah, I'll probably always be there.
All right.
All
I'll
right.
see you then.
All right. Take care.
All right. All right. See you.
Bye bye.
See ya.